We have been deleted because we're more than 10 minutes.
Oh,
What we'll do is, no, don't worry, we'll refeed it. Shireen?
yeah.
Yeah, we've been deleted because we're 10 minutes late. So I'm just, if we can just
Hold on, it says you can still go live if I push this button. Oh no,
Okay.
it's deleted.
Where's my sound gone down to on these?
Okay. So what are you gonna reboot it?
I'm just trying to see what I can do. Okay. No, that's not working.
Okay, so re-edit, it says. So remove it and re-add the Facebook.
Okay.
I've lost it now. You said you got this sound. Don't you want to right, come out of everything? Close this down and go into Google. Go away and go. You did it this morning.
There we go.
Okay.
Hi, Mo.
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay.
So, Shireen, it's not allowing us to go live, though. Are we back on live? Okay, sorry about that glitch. So, welcome again to the Momentors talk show for leading women. And, as usual, we're all learning this new way of working. And, we had some challenges, but I believe that we are back on track now. So I have a special guest on the Momentors talk show for leading women today, and it's Soraya Carroll, the founder of Soul to Soul Holistic Therapy Center. Welcome to the Momentors talk show, Soraya.
Thank you, Mo. Thanks very much for the invite. So much appreciated.
Lovely. And, I was just explaining to our viewers, that we've had some challenges, but we're here now. And this is part of the new way of working. So we have to exercise our patience and, be willing to just really continue to focus and, achieve what we need to achieve. And we are here today to get inspired by Soraya. So thank you so much for joining. Can you introduce yourself to the audience? Who is Soraya and what it is that you do?
Right. Okay. Oh gosh, a lot of things. So yeah, my name's Soraya Carroll. I'm 50 something years old, which I don't want to really reveal the exact age. And I'm a holistic therapist. I have been for the last 20 years after leaving a job when I was, I'll give you away now, 35, as a pensions manager in quite a high profile job. And I decided I just wanted a total change, and I found reflexology, which was absolutely amazing. And it just started from there, really. And even though people said, oh no, what's reflexology? Nobody's going to be able to make a business out of this. I said, well, no, I'm going to. And then eventually left my job and set up the Soul to Soul Therapy Centre when we've been there for 17 years. And it's a fantastic place because we offer so many different therapies, and we help so many men and women to actually lead a better and healthier lifestyle. And that's my goal and overall aim of our holistic therapy centre.
Wow, absolutely amazing. And I love the story. So you had a high profile job, and you left that to do aromatherapy and reflexology. Yes. So what is it that inspired you to really go into that field of reflexology?
I think it was the fact that I was sort of in quite a high profile job, and it was proving to be quite stressful. And I just felt that I wanted to get out of the rat race, really, and just happened to go on a course and was fascinated with reflexology more so than aromatherapy, really. And just thought, let me see if it will work out. And for 2 years, I actually worked full-time and part-time. And so it was hard work. When you want things, you have to work hard. And eventually I took the step and sort of sold my house, and I moved and to set up the business. But it all worked out. It all worked out well, and I was very busy. And that's how it really progressed, I would say. So sometimes you do have to take the plunge and believe in what you want to do and what you like, so that it actually does really work out.
Wow, Amazing. And, it's really nice to hear the story. And if you're just joining us, welcome to the Momentous Talk Show for Leading Women. And today I'm speaking to Soraya, Carroll, the founder of Soul to Soul Therapy Center, which was founded more than 17 years ago, more than 20 years now ago. And, she's still thriving, growing. And to the point that, now she's offering services at her therapy center. So maybe we can go into what does your therapy center, what sort of services are you providing within the center?
Well, as I say, I personally offer sort of reflexology, aromatherapy, stress management now, but we have a wide variety of treatments ranging from hypnotherapy, life coaching, clinical hypnotherapy, Reiki, energy field therapy. We've got sports massage, we've got cupping, we've got acupuncture. So beauty treatments now, we've got a couple of beauty therapies. So we've had actually in the last few weeks, we've had a few new therapists coming on board as we're starting to get back to work after lockdown. So yeah, we offer a whole range of things really for mind, body and soul, physical and mental well-being is what we're looking after really. And there's not a lot that we can't treat, minor ailments, and we just believe that it's all very natural way of healing.
Wow, absolutely amazing. And thank you so much for sharing that. So, when you're looking, I mean, I know you mentioned mental health, well-being, you mentioned stress management, which some of the, probably, do you find that, with this COVID that's just took place or that we're in at the moment, have you found that there's been an influx of people needing those particular services? How have things been for your business?
Yeah. I mean, personally, not too much, because the stress management side is just something we've recently introduced. So people are still coming to me, my existing clients of many, many years, for their reflexology massage, which in itself is very relaxing. And I do incorporate some stress management techniques while people are relaxing and visualization. But certainly the counsellor and the mindfulness practitioners have experienced an influx, that people are very worried, they're fearful, they're concerned. Their lives have changed quite a lot. Some of them have been ill and they've been on their own, they're very isolated. So we're seeing more of this really. Somebody's partner sort of died. So we are, as I say, trying to help more in that aspect, but certainly on the mindfulness and the counselling side of things, I would say at the moment.
Right. And do you see this increasing over the next next few months, in the next months? Do you see your workload increasing as a result of the COVID-19? Is this a good space for you to be as a business, as a service? Do you find?
Oh gosh, yes, without a doubt. I mean, unfortunately, we don't necessarily want an influx of people suffering from sort of stress and sort of different things like this, but we are there to help. And yes, there will be. With the feedback that I've been getting generally from people, they do have concerns. They are, as I say, fearful, worried. A lot of emotions, maybe of things that have happened in the past that they'd put to bed or thought they'd put to bed, have re-emerged. And so they're dealing with that. And on top, they're dealing with the COVID issue as well for their health. I do find that it's people that are probably not 100%, that do have physical ailments as well, that are more concerned. So that puts extra pressure on their mental well-being as well. So we're trying to combat the two. So with all the therapists that are at the centre, we can target sort of the physical and the emotional side of things.
Yeah. Which is really nice to see services like yourself, obviously, kind of going forward to support the public, because, now more than ever, there's been reports that, people that have been in isolation, there's more increased numbers of people suffering with depression, anxiety, stress because of the COVID-19. So now more than ever, I can envisage that your business, the services that you provide are needed now more than ever. People with financial pressures, stresses, they probably would be needing your services. So, domestic violence has been on an increase from what the news has been saying. And I see that from your you know, in your life, you've experienced domestic violence at some point. So,
Yeah.
you know, how would you encourage somebody who may be experiencing that? You know, I see, you know, reading from your story, you were a survivor, or you're a survivor of domestic violence, to the point that you actually fled and disappeared at one time when you were 21 from a violent relationship. How would you advise somebody who's listening right now, who may be in a situation where they're in a domestic violence situation? What would be advice to them be?
Yeah, if I could tell my younger self, I mean, I was very young when I got together with my abusive partner, and you are sort of worn down a lot. You know, you don't feel as though you've got anyone to go to, or that there's anybody that can help you at all, and that you're stuck in this situation. And very often people want to go, but then they find that there's nowhere for them to go. But I would always say there's somebody there, there's someone out there that can help you, and more so now than obviously 34 years ago. There's a lot more organisations, there's a lot more people that recognise that yes, there are issues, there are problems, and that there is help out there. Whereas when I was in the situation, there wasn't anybody that I went to apart from my mother, who sort of helped me sort of escape almost one day. But I would say to anybody, you know, things will always get better. They won't get better if you stay in that relationship. Even though you think things will get better, they won't. And you know deep down what you need to do. But there are people and organisations there that will help you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, you know, thank you for that. So what Soraya is saying, as a domestic violence survivor and a successful leading woman now, she's saying that, you know, you need to really, you know, seek support. There's a lot of organizations that are offering this help. And she's saying that, you know, you need to go out there, seek the support, get the help that you require. You know, things will get better at some point, as evidently, you know, you yourself, you know, it doesn't, because you were, you know, a domestic violence, suffered that before, hasn't stopped you from being the leading woman that you are, successful and thriving.
Yeah. I think no, it hasn't. I think for a while though, and I think if you're with your abuser for a very young age, you know, it does take a while for you to get to know yourself again, and it does. It's a long process. It's, you know, you've been you know, really sort of put down, you know, and told that you're sort of worthless, and that, you know, nothing, you won't become of anything, and you won't be successful, or, you know, so your abuser always tends to make you feel like that, because that's their way of control, because they don't have any other way of doing that sometimes. So it's the violence and also the mental type of torture that they put you through. But you know, if you can overcome it, and I think everybody has it within them to do that, because you know, it's one life. I just see it as one life, and that you have to make the most of it. And you should not let anybody stop you from doing what you want to do, and you should never have to put up with anything. And I always say to anybody, you know, first signs of anything, no second chances, that's it, you go.
Yes, absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And if you're watching and you're that person, you know somebody who's involved in a form of domestic violence, or, you know, they're in a situation, please do direct them to the right organizations that can support them. Be your sister's keeper, be that person that supports them. And, you know, us as women, we have the ability to encourage, to help each other. So be the motivator, show them the light, you know, in that situation. It's not always easily received, and I know that.
I mean, just one thing though, I mean, very often they will stop you from seeing your friends and family, so which is why you feel so alone, really. But as I say, but if you are in that position, you know, just get back in contact with those people, and as I say, the organizations that are out there that can help. I mean, so clients of mine today had gone into hospital for a routine sort of procedure, and she was asked, you know, are you suffering from, you know, any abusive relationships? So it's good that hospitals are actually picking up on this and are actually asking people as well if they are having problems.
Wow. And I think that's really useful information to know. Even, you know, I haven't been to hospital lately, but to know that the hospitals are now incorporating that question is a step towards trying to ensure that people are supported and people feel safe. And, you know, it's another way and an outlet for you to be able to utilize if you're in that situation. So if you had a checkup and a routine checkup, you know, you are likely to be asked those questions. So please do speak out and do not suffer in silence. So thank you so much, Soraya, for sharing that information with us.
No, that's fine.
So going back then to the work that you do, the services that you offer, you know, the Soul to Soul Center, can you tell us, you know, how has your personal experience inspired the work that you do?
I just felt that in the early days that it was just such a fascinating thing, the natural sort of healing. I didn't know anything about it at all and came into it quite late on, really. But it was just such a powerful tool to actually help people or detect really people's imbalances, what's wrong with people, and to actually do something which was quite, you know, feat. A lot of people don't actually even like feat, but to actually do something that really does make a difference and that people come back time and time again and they can, that their health is improving. You know, it's fantastic. And, you know, I've gone through various health issues and, you know, I've turned to various sorts of therapies, you know, from homeopathy and fasting and, you know, all sorts of different things, acupuncture, sort of to try and help me as well with my sort of condition. So there is something for everybody. You know, everybody can benefit with and improve their health and well-being from some, you know, one of the therapies that we actually provide.
So would you say that your type of service then almost encourages people to move away from the medical model where, you know, it's about medication, but you're actually encouraging an alternative therapy? Would you say that, you know?
I mean, no, well, if people have treatments sort of regularly and over a period of time, then yes, they may well find that their blood pressure medication that changes, that they're probably not on as high a dose, or if people are taking sort of tablets for migraines and headaches, they may well find that those are reduced. Pain medication, for example, I've had a number of clients who are taking very high doses of painkillers. They've actually been able to reduce that. So people that take sort of medication for having problems sleeping, and again reducing that, and they're able to sleep better. So I always say, you know, people should never just stop taking medication. But what somebody will find is that over a period of time, they may be able to reduce the medication alongside obviously the conventional therapies.
Yes.
And then they're able to, in some cases, yes, stop taking the medication altogether. But it's all down to the holistic approach. So we look at diets as well, and lifestyle and exercise. So you come along for a treatment, but it's all part of it as well, that, you know, if you need to look at your diet, then we'll sort of help put you on a program or put you back on track as to what you should be doing. And in turn, you're just going to be healthier and healthier. So then it will have a knock-on effect as well, that your diabetes may well be better.
Yes.
And obviously, so that's what tends to happen. It's not something that happens overnight. And I've had people come to me and after one treatment and say, well, nothing's really happened or whatever, but give it a try, you know, 2 or 3 then sessions down the line, and people do start to see a difference and start to feel better.
Wow. And I like that, you know, so obviously, you know, you're saying that over a period of time, people will start to notice those, you know, changes, and it's not just a singular way of working. You're actually saying, you know, diet is incorporated in their lifestyle changes. I can't just not ask this question. does it, is it a service that is affordable for the ordinary person? Can they claim it via the NHS? Is it an affordable service?
Unfortunately, you can't claim it from the NHS, but there are various healthcare schemes that people are on, or that can take out. So the Hospital Saturday Fund, for example. There's some of the schemes like Simply Health that people pay into, and they can actually claim some of the money back for treatments. So I've got a few clients who work actually in supermarkets, and they have a Simply Health scheme, and they come along and they can actually claim sort of the majority of the money back. But the treatments vary from about £35 upwards, up to 100, 120, £150. So there's a huge range.
Yeah.
And I think I always say to people, if you can put aside £1 or £2 a day, at the end of the month, you can have a treatment.
Yeah.
And we all waste money on various things, but it's what you see as your priority. And unfortunately, a lot of us don't put our health first when we've got to pay for something. And we're quite happy to go out and have our hair done and have our nails done. But, when it comes down to really focusing on our health and doing things that can help, we always sort of hesitate and think, £100 or £50, £100. Oh, I'm not sure. But, we spend it on other things, and it's just a matter of sort of reprioritizing things, which I think the whole COVID situation, people have reprioritized things and realized that what really matters, what are the things that really do matter. And when you're ill, when you're not very well, that's the thing that is really top of the list.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love that. I've had to tag it. Soraya says, put your health first. And, just looking at, I love to reflect on my personal self. Would I rather get my nails done, or would I rather pay for? But it's about prioritizing. It's about being intentional, actually, wanting to make sure that you are looking after your health. So this is what it comes down to. So anything is affordable if you really want it, isn't it? So
I think, without a doubt, and £1 or £2 a day, it's not a great deal. We waste so much more on other things which we probably don't really need. I mean, I'm still to go and have my hair done, and I can't wait. So it's
I couldn't wait for the nail bus to open. I couldn't.
Well, that's one thing. I can't have long nails, unfortunately, doing reflexology. They're always really short.
Yes. But, obviously, it's about what you prioritize. And it comes down to that, certainly for building wealth and health. Your health is your wealth, really, isn't it? So
it is.
If you don't build on your health, if you lose your health, you lose everything. So absolutely. Interesting right there. So can you tell us then, in terms of the work that you do, who's your ideal client, and what sort of work, how do you work with these clients? Is it on a prescribed 6 weeks program? Is it on a day program, a month basis? How do you work with the client?
I mean, it all varies depending on who you're coming to see. So the clinical hypnotherapist will have a different agenda. The counsellor, the mindfulness lady will have a different agenda, really. But with myself, with the reflexology and the massage, they're the more, I would say, relaxing treatments. So they're relaxing, but they'll also actually help with your physical health and also your mental health as well. Because while I'm perhaps working on your feet and saying, oh, your kidneys aren't feeling very good today, you're not drinking enough water, or you can feel various things and detect things from someone's feet, I will also be talking to them and sort of going through a visualization of how they want to feel and how they want to be, so that has to play a part as well. It's the mind has to also believe that you want to become well, and that whatever is wrong with you, that you do want to get better. So I'm very much focused on the mind as well as the physical body as well. But it could, I mean, I have had clients after one treatment say to me, wow, that was absolutely amazing, I slept so well, I'm just so calm. I'm able to cope with situations more. And that could be just after one treatment. And you do sometimes think, wow, that's just from just reflexology and a bit of talking. And for some people, it might take a little bit longer. But, you know, I've had clients that have been coming to see me for since about 1998, 99, some of them. So it's a long time. So we're talking about 20, 21 years that people have been coming to see me.
Wow.
And they've come every month, some of them have. You know, and we've got to grow, and we know, you know, they're my friends now. They're not just clients, they're my friends as well. But they noticed a difference, and just getting back after 4 months break, everyone's been saying, oh, I can't wait to come back, I feel so much better now. And that's all part of it, really. People do notice the difference, and they notice when they don't have it. And it's also a way of preventing certain things as well. It can help boost your immune system, amongst other things.
Absolutely. And I certainly remember having a massage and thinking, oh my God, where have these things been all my life? I should have been having a massage every week. You know,
some people have never had a massage or reflex. So I think, what? No.
It's when you've had it, then you know, you sleep better. Like you say, I noticed I could sleep better. I felt more relaxed, my muscles weren't as tense. And, you don't realize how much it does to you. So absolutely useful to know. And also a service that is required. And especially if you're a leading woman, we take up so much. We're busy looking after everybody else, looking after the business, looking after our employees, and we forget about ourselves. So actually, it's something that we need to factor into our weekly routines, monthly routines, that we look after the body that drives the business forward. So
and I think sometimes we think, oh, we can't do that, or we don't need it, or can we really justify that? But I do think more and more people now are realizing that, yes, you have to do certain things to keep going. You have to take time out. That if those stresses get too much, what are the consequences of the body and the mind? What actually happens if that does take over? So I just think by doing little bits and alleviating that stress and looking after yourself, and you do feel so much better for it as well.
Absolutely. And Soraya, I know that there's some people on here who either I've been to some of these getaway mindfulness groups, retreats. You provide that service where supposedly somebody wanted to hire you for the day or for a weekend to actually attend to a group of leading women. Would you provide that type of a service? Is that something
certainly, yes. I mean, that's another side of the business where we go into companies and we offer our services. So we call them stress busting days. So a team of us will go in and we'll offer sort of like mini reflexology treatments, the massage, the Indian head massage. We'll do some little mindfulness sessions. We've got a Pilates instructor that can come on board as well. So we can offer a whole range of different things actually on site. So that's the corporate side of things. Then then we can do what we call days, pamper days and things like that for other ladies or organisations. So yes, I've gone to women's refuges and done treatments there. I've been to sort of age concern. I've worked with the police. So I've worked with a whole range of different people, really, because we all need these services.
And I think, obviously, that's really interesting and useful to know, because I couldn't help but to think, do you work with companies? And just hearing that you offer that, because I can imagine if you had a team of staff or you had an away day, these are some things that maybe you can add on to, how do you manage stress at work? How do you, when, with pressures of work? And as an employer, it's something that somebody may be thinking about taking, especially after COVID, because people have been through so much. Our employees have been through so much, and I can't help but think this would be really useful. So thank you for that.
It's just a very good way of just reducing anxiety, stresses. I mean, we've just gone into all sorts of different organisations. Teachers are I found that a lot of my clients are teachers, and that seems to be quite a profession that people do find quite stressful. But everyone from all walks of life can benefit from the treatments we offer anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how can people then be able to connect with you? Where can they find you? Do you have a website so they can really connect with the work that you provide?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on social media is another bane of my life, but anyway, but I am on social media. I have got a website, which is a bit of a mouthful, but it's the Soul to Soul Holistic Therapy Centre.co.uk. And then I'm Soul to Soul One on Facebook and Instagram. So we do have a social media presence, but we're actually building a new website at the moment, and we're doing a lot more video work. We plan to do a lot more visualization or visual treatment so that people can actually see what we do, so that people can actually see, what cupping's like, what acupuncture's like, because sometimes people are a little bit wary if they've not experienced something like this before, so they like to see perhaps the therapist first. So we're going to be doing that in the next few weeks and putting that out there, so that and doing it more often, really, because people do want to see what we do.
And I think what you're saying in regards to a visual, way of working, people seeing is believing. That's Mary Kay Coates. Mary Kay Coates, seeing is believing. So when people can see this, you doing the work and talking to the after, field results, these are some of the things that can maybe help people to understand. Because I can imagine, until you know what reflexology is, you may not even know what it entails.
No. I mean, a lot of people know. I mean, we have a sort of an osteopath, and people literally come in. They really can't walk very well at all. They're in so much pain. Yet half an hour later, they'll actually walk out.
Wow.
So that is something that is works very, very well and has been proven. A lot of the treatments do have medical track records and proven histories. Some are a little bit more vague, but when people experience it for themselves, then they do see the difference.
Wow, amazing. And I think there's alternative therapies being offered even in the NHS. They are recommending alternative treatments as well, because like I said earlier about the medical model, not every medication works. Sometimes you need to kind of balance the two.
I mean,
reduce medication.
I mean, we used to have a chiropractor at the centre, and he's now a GP.
Wow.
So, which is absolutely brilliant, because anybody that comes to him with a bad back or neck or knees, he can actually treat them. He doesn't have to send them away with painkillers.
Correct. And that's saving money for the NHS, for our beloved NHS, saving more money for them. So tell me then about your CI, so obviously Soul to Soul Centre is a CIC, I take it.
No, we're not, no, but we're in the process. It's something that I've wanted to do for a long time now, and I'm going to start working with vulnerable adults, offering them supported accommodation in some of the properties that I've got.
Wow.
And I wanted to find a way that we could do it better. And I just felt that the standard out there wasn't that great with regards to the support that vulnerable people were getting. And I've worked with drug and alcohol services and other places like that, and know that the treatments do help. So the idea of the community interest company is to actually go into the corporate world and provide treatments on site, but also then the element of the social enterprise is to actually give back and actually provide these vulnerable adults that are in supported accommodation with some of the treatments, some of the things that they don't actually have access to otherwise. So they might want to have some mindfulness or release their anxieties, or have problems sleeping and coming off drugs maybe. So some of the treatments that we offer can really help. So that's the idea behind it.
Absolutely amazing. And I can certainly, obviously outside the platform, discuss this with you, because it's an area that I also specialize in do in terms of supported living, offering that service. And one of the challenges that there isn't enough, that the NHS or the mental health services haven't got enough services available to offer, mindfulness, to offer, these type of therapies. So having that kind of a supported living with a service like that would be amazing. So, I can certainly see where you're coming from, and I can see how it would be really beneficial to this individuals that you'd be looking after. So well done for that. So what is the
Thank you.
future then for Soul to Soul?
Sorry, Mo.
What is the future for us? For
The
Soul?
future. Well, the future will be, as I say, I only started back to work yesterday, so after a 4-month break.
Wow.
So it will be growing the practice, because we've now, yeah, it's strange what happens really. Over the last few weeks, we've probably got about 4 or 5 new practitioners coming on board. So we want to build the practice so that we've got a lot more therapies, that we provide absolutely everything, you know, from beauty to, we've got the osteopath, we've got the chiropractor, we've got the mindfulness, we've got the hypnotherapy. So getting people on board, providing all these therapies within our community, and really making an impact, a big impact, so that people value their health a lot more. And that's always been our message, that we want people to stop smoking, we want people to stop drinking, really. We want people to look after their bodies and be as fit as they possibly can by looking at their diet. And we have a really fantastic nutritionist, and we do a lot of fasting. We just want to get that message out there, and we're not great with social media, but we're going to get much better. And that's one of my missions, to actually really push that, so that people know about us, because we were there before Facebook and before Instagram, and you know, we're still going to be here, and we want to make sure that a new generation really of people get to know what we do, because there aren't that many therapy type centres within the Birmingham area, certainly not the North Birmingham area. So that's my goal really, and just really sort of to treat as many people as we possibly can do, and improve their lives.
And absolutely amazing. And you know, I can certainly get the vision, having lived in Birmingham before.
Okay.
I'm an ex-Brummie, so
oh, you can't tell.
I think my Brummie accent, when I first moved up to Buckinghamshire, I used to be called, "Oh, you're from Birmingham." They could tell straight away.
Really? No, I would never have known. Never have known.
Oh my God. So anyway, having said that, you know, it's really amazing to see, and I love the vision of growing and serving the community in which you're working. And you know, there isn't enough of these things. And you know, if you see a problem, it's about developing a service to meet the needs of the community that you're serving. And I love that about your service. You know, just looking at, I just want to touch one that you do. So intermittent fasting. I've heard of this before. Can you tell me, does this work? Because I'm sure loads of our ladies here love to lose weight, and I've heard of this intermittent fasting. Can you tell us about it?
Okay. Well, I actually tend to do more the whole fasting rather than the intermittent fasting. So we've actually got a little group together run by the nutritionist, and we will fast every quarter for 7 days.
Wow.
So we won't eat anything for 7 days.
Completely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just water. Yeah, just water. And it's much easier than you think.
Wow.
And I like my food. I love my food. But what I find is that when I do fast, it is hard for the first 3 days, but then something happens to your body. And after 3 days, they say that sort of your body is starting to regenerate. It's getting rid of all the rubbish that's there, all the dead cells and everything. And it's going through a healing process. It can help boost your immune system. And that's one of the things that I do it for, because of my condition, which is transverse myelitis. So I find that when I fast, my condition seems to get better without having any food. Wow. And normally 5th day, I would say 4th day, you're probably feeling not too great, but 5th day, usually you have got bags of energy. You know, at night, I'm sort of lying awake thinking, gosh, I'm normally absolutely exhausted, because you're not eating, you're not using that energy to digest your food. You've got extra resources of energy. And if you can go the 7 days, you'll normally start to feel a lot better. It's just that initial going through the process, but that's the full fast. But you can do sort of a 24-hour fast, so stop eating at 6 o'clock at night and perhaps eat at 6 o'clock in the morning. Or there's the window with the intermittent fasting where, you know, you'll probably fast for about, I don't know, probably about 16 to probably 18 hours maybe, something like that. So there's different ways of doing it, and everybody sort of has their own little version of it.
Wow.
But once a week we tend to fast for a whole day. But
Wow.
but the fact that and we did a fruit fast anyway before we did the recent fast. So we did a fruit fast for 7 days, then we had a bit of a break, and then we did the water fast.
Wow, amazing. I love it. I love it. You know, I've always like engaged in spiritual fasting, you know, fasting to just really meditate or drink water. But, you know, I've heard of this intermittent fasting that's got benefits to weight loss and, you know, helps. And like you explaining now, so I'm certainly going to be trying it and seeing if I can go with water and just really.
I mean, the thing is, you have to be careful, and obviously, depending if you're taking any medication where you need to eat, then I wouldn't recommend it. You would need to be very careful.
Yes, of course.
And obviously, if anyone's diabetic, again, you know, you would have to. I wouldn't just start off by saying, right, I'm not going to eat for 7 days. You wouldn't do that. You'd join a group. You'd get advice. You'd get advice from the nutritionist. To, you know, you may start off doing a day, then maybe 3 days, and build up really, so that, because otherwise too many toxins flood the system and it can make you feel very unwell. You have to prepare a little bit beforehand.
Yeah. So I'll just put their disclaimer for you. You know, don't fast without medical advice. Obviously, if you're taking medication, you know, we don't want you to say, well, the Momentors talk show, and so I fast for 7 days. Disclaimer, leading women, but you know, we're all about, you know, we said your health is your wealth. So, you know, without health, you know, you need to be looking after the body that does the work, that looks after the company, that looks after the business, that is driving that vision forward. Because, you know, I know a lot of us here, you know, women, we've got great, amazing visions to conquer the whole world, but we need to be looking after our health. We need to backtrack a bit, spend less money on the hair, and I'll say it, spend less money on the expensive hair, spend less money on the nails, I'm guilty as charged, spend less money on the Gucci bags, and actually pay for an alternative therapy and look after yourself. You know, this is important because it means we get to live longer.
And I'd say just one thing though, as we get older, I mean, when we're in our 20s and our 30s and even our 40s, we still think that, you know, we're sort of invincible almost, and we'll always have our health. And, you know, I'm in my 50s now, and
you look great.
Sort of think, you know, when they say, is it downhill from 50? Well, it was a little bit for me, I must admit, with various things that happened, but you know, there is light at the end of the tunnel. You know, there are things that you can do, and it's just so important to just embrace, you know, the diet, the exercise, the lifestyle, because between the age of 50 and 60, that is really a very crucial time as well for a woman, going through the menopause and other things that can happen with osteoporosis and lots and lots of different things. So it's breast cancer as well. So it's really important as well that we do look after ourselves and don't end up thinking, I wish I'd done it 10 years ago. You know, do it now.
Yeah, absolutely. Crucial advice there from coming from Soraya, and just saying, you know, look after yourself now. You know, don't wait to do it when you hit your between 50 and 60. You know, many things come as we grow with age. We have more health issues, you know, to do with our bones, to do with our, you know, breasts, and, you know, everything that involves a woman. So let's look after ourselves now. So if you're playing back and if you're watching now, you want to take action today, you want to engage, make sure that you make that decision to look after your health, because guess what? Your health is your wealth. And, you know, we've got people like Soraya. She runs Soul to Soul Company, and it's based in the West Midlands. You know, try and connect with her, get advice, get engaged with the right people that can help you to make the right decisions regarding your health. So any last words for our guests, our viewers today, Soraya?
Well, if you haven't heard of reflexology, which is a lot of people haven't, I must admit, do a little bit of research about it and just see all the different things that it can actually help with, and just assess your own lifestyles really, and look at your own diet. You know, are you exercising, are you eating as well as you could do? What other things can you actually do to really be the best version of you. And we do strive financially. We want to be successful, but we also want to be successful in looking after our health as well, which we sometimes might leave, might come second best maybe sometimes, but it really shouldn't be. It needs to be really at the forefront. And what we do, we can help with lots of things. We can improve whatever situation you're at. We can actually improve you and your lifestyle and how you feel and how you, I suppose, if there's any little sort of problems that you've been having, we can probably help with them.
Absolutely amazing, and thank you so much. Just one last question then. Do you have a treatment for social media, for abuse of social media? Because we find that people are addicted to social media. I'm one of them. You can't switch off from your social media. What tips would you give? What sort of things can people do?
I mean, gosh, there's lots. I mean, the thing that people have to do is literally put it down to actually get into doing a little bit of meditation each day. And it is a matter of sort of really building that in, even if it's just 10 minutes, to sort of say, right, for 10 minutes, I'm actually going to be very aware, be mindful of what I'm doing and in that moment, and try to say, I'm actually going to think about certain things and actually visualize certain things, visualize me not wanting social media so much, I can leave that phone. I don't have to pick it up. I don't have to answer those messages now, that it can wait. And just try and get into the habit of having 10 minutes each day of just really being mindful of what's around you. Go for a walk, just meditate just for 10 minutes. You can do it for longer if you want to, but start off with just 10 minutes. But social media really isn't very good for us. It's not good for I feel, for our mental health at all. And too many young people are influenced by a lot on social media, and not for the good, really. And I think you just have to be a very strong person and think that it's not all rosy. It's not all what people sort of portray, how people portray themselves. But I think it's just a matter of taking a little bit of time out, but making sure you stick to that program, that you do take some time out away from social media. And just be aware of how much time, and actually write down how much time you spend on social media. And most people would probably be horrified.
I think actually you're right in that, to be honest. There's an app now that you can use to actually track the amount of time you spend on social media. So it's appalling to see. And, it's something that I just thought I'd throw in there, and to really ask you as, the alternative therapist, to see, how can we deal with this? How can people, how can we get help? How can we, detox off it?
Yeah, I think if you came to see someone that does mindfulness, a mindfulness practitioner, or the stress management side of things, and you would walk through, if someone was really having problems, then you would actually go through the situation, the scenario, and actually sort of try and get, you would be able to go through some hypnotherapy even, to try and get them away from that, and to see that they need to do other things, that it's taking up too much of their time, and that they need to replace it with something else. And there's lots of other things to replace it with. We don't want to be stuck in front of a screen for hours on end. There is a big world outside, which might be a little bit scary for some at the moment, but it's a beautiful place. So get out there and enjoy it.
Wow, absolutely. And thank you so much, Soraya.
Thank you.
Talk Show for Leading Women, for sharing with us, the soul to soul, what you do, what your service does, and talking about reflexology, the benefits of that, guys, the benefits of actually taking time out to actually meditate. We talked about that. Take time out of social media. She gave us some advice. And, if you are like me, probably spend a lot of time on social media, you need to see a mindfulness practitioner. They could help you with that. They could help you to get some of those skills that can maybe help you to spend less time just looking at a screen, looking at your phone, to switch off. So, thank you so much for coming on. And I'll also add her, how to connect with Soraya. She's on LinkedIn, she's on Instagram, she's also on Facebook. So please do contact her and her team and see how they can help you. Your health is your wealth. So thank you so much, Soraya, for coming on.
Thank you, Mo. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.